All right. So, going into the last of the normal 1v1 sets here, Russia versus Eastern Europe. It's all tied up. In the top position is Largo as the purple Terran. Largo of Russia. And in the bottom position is Jim. Whoops. Which does not seem like a very Eastern European name, but that's fine. He's just gonna be Jim. There we go. So, reposition of my chair. Now, this is not gonna be fun for Jim. I don't know who Jim is, but Largo's a difficult opponent for anybody. And TVZ can be difficult against a really good Terran like Largo. Alright. Apparently Jim is from Bulgaria and was B-, according to Draw in chat. I don't know if that's true, but I have no reason to doubt Draw. Aside from the fact that he's a man with 20 different aliases. It might only be 10 aliases, but still, he's a man with 10 aliases. Tends to be a reason to distrust people. Ooh, yes. I'm happy about this. Largo has thrown down his refinery, so we are actually going to see some kind of advanced play. Advanced tech tree play from Terran player on Destination. Where Destination really was one of the maps that started Terran players going for a pure mech style in TVZ. It just didn't happen before then. But Destination made it possible to not only do that, but also to try Wraiths for some of the first time in the matchup. Very good, very good. And obviously people had done both of those things before Destination, but Destination really helped with the popularity of both of them. Alright, so there's the factory. There are a lot of options for Largo, and actually a lot of the options he has are options that you can could do in a TVT. Pretty much a lot of the same builds. You can go one fact expand, pretty much just siege expand. That'll work, except for you're not so worried about siege mode. Instead, just getting out some vultures to deal with early lings. A little bit more rare. You can go for 2 fact and pump out a lot of vultures and do a lot of good harass early. You can go for 2 fact Goliath and get the armory early and get a fast +1 upgrade and go for a certain type of timing attack. You can do drops. You can go Valkyries. You can go Wraiths. You can go 1-point Wraith. You can go 2-point Wraith. So many options. So many options you can go for. And there's the machine shop. So probably not going to be Wraiths. That's the first thing we check off the list. You normally don't get the machine shop if you're going to go Wraiths. But means it's going to be something. I'm guessing a vulture upgrade. Siege mode, usually not this early. And if it was Goliath, he would have thrown down the armory now. So I think this is going to be, there we go, for a vulture upgrade. So it could just be vultures, or it could be dropships. And with the command center down, I don't think he's going to get dropships. I think he's just going to go for some very light vulture harass and get some mines up to defend an expo attempt. Now Jim has already got the Hydralisk down. Wow, he's already got the Hydralisk down and is going Hydralisk speed. The SCV scouts this out. Hydralisk den's not terribly rare versus a player who's going for a fast refinery, because they're very good versus vultures or lone tanks or Goliaths or Wraiths or dropships. But to get it that early and to get speed, it means that Jim wants to go for a kind of Hydralisk bust, which I do not like. I'm very wary of a Hydralisk bust here, because there are going to be siege tanks on this cliff, and Hydralisks are going to try to come across a double bridge, and it's going to get ugly very quickly. But we'll see. See what he's able to do. So, a couple more factories, and now adding on the armory can start the next upgrade, and Largo will probably end up getting some Goliaths. He kind of needs it in case Jim goes for Mutalisks, and now we have the lair coming up. It's got to be a Hydralisk bust. You're getting Hydralisk speed and Hydralisk range. I just want to know how he's going to execute it. Seems like it's going to be rather difficult. Neither of these vultures have any more spider mines. They have used them all up around the map. Really not a whole lot they can do. I guess they can sit back here, and then when Largo drops a scan, they can pick off a drone or two. That's really about it. This is certainly too many Hydralisks, and even a sunken colony. I don't like this at all. I think this is a bad move from Jim, throwing down that sunken colony. Normally you get the sunken colony there if you're not going Hydralisks, or if you're just going with a couple of Hydralisks to defend. I thought my replay had frozen for a second because all the Hydralisks stopped. If you're only getting a couple of Hydralisks, but when you have that many Hydralisks, the sunken colony is just unnecessary. You really don't need it. One vulture out on the map. Oh man, they are just skating right around these mines, getting very close. All right, now we're activating some mines. Finally get a hit though. Normally Hydralisks are pretty good about clearing the mines, but they're kind of at a weird middle ground. They're not quite as good as tanks or Goliaths, but they're certainly better than Dragoons are at not getting destroyed. And it's always more visceral when the Hydralisk gets destroyed, because Hydralisks will immediately die compared to Dragoons or tanks, or even Goliaths. All right. So Jim's got his lair, and he's getting the spire now. It's a very late spire. Okay. So, interesting build from Largo. It's not 2-fact Goliath. It's going to be Expo into 3-fact Goliath. And when that +1 weapons upgrade finishes, he'll just move out. His build's going to be ridiculously strong against what Jim's doing. He doesn't have enough Hydralisks to beat the Goliaths, because Goliaths aren't that bad versus Hydralisks. And, wait, what? Double Spire? Jim is just taunting me now. No, that's it. I've never casted Jim before. I have no idea what he has against me, but clearly, oh no. Okay, there actually is a reason for the double spire. He wants super fast 1/1 Mutalisks. Super fast 1/1 Mutalisks, huh? With oddly placed expansions. What is this? I don't know. This is going to be such a late Mutalisk all-in if that's what he's doing. And if he's not all-inning with Mutalisks, why is he bothering to get 2 spires? Oh man. Okay. So he's getting the fast gas here. So that's going to be 3 gases for him, and then a 4th one if he wants it. He's going to have a lot of gas to be making Mutalisks off of, and yeah, he's just nothing but Mutalisks, drones, and overlords. Why did you get Hydralisk upgrades? I don't understand. Like, this... I feel so much better about this if he didn't invest, like, the 300 he put into 2 Hydralisk upgrades, not to mention getting so many Hydralisks, but not enough to do anything useful at all. Jim, I don't know what you're doing. Also, Twitch chat has crashed for me. So, I'm sure people are actually, like, slamming their face against the keyboard trying to tell me about how standard this double Spire build is. And I actually just haven't been watching enough of the recent Sonic Star League, because this is what all the Koreans are doing now. But, no, I don't know. I do not know that this is standard. This seems really ridiculous to me. Oh boy. I'm also looking at the clock. And I am going to be running out of time soon. Alright. Alright, fair warning, everybody. Fair warning, I have an hour and a half left. So, yeah, we need to get through this. Oh, hey, there goes the chat. Alright, so yeah, I have an hour and a half to get through this set, and the 2v2, and possibly the 1v1. Alright, should be fun. And man, this Mutalisk build, it's interesting. He has 1-1, he's getting a second armor, and has not yet started the second attack, but that's gotta be coming. It's gotta be coming. And now we get to see how good Mutalisks are versus Goliaths. Mutalisks aren't that bad versus Goliaths, and it always looks like the Goliaths are doing really well because of how flashy their animations are. But Goliaths don't do that much damage. The real reason that Goliaths are better versus Mutalisks is because how much damage they can do to Mutalisks when the Mutalisks are flying in and when the Mutalisks are flying out. If Jim picks his timings right and only attacks when he knows he can win, he can beat the Goliaths. But if he's second guessing himself, kind of half committing, then backing off, it'll be horrible for him. Absolutely horrendous. Double Spire. Ridiculous. And he isn't getting +1 attack. He certainly has the money for it. I guess he forgot about it. Getting a turret here? I don't know, I guess because there wasn't enough anti-air coverage. With all the Goliaths, the Mutalisks are flying in. Once again, this is a great time for the Mutalisks to be attacking, as a lot of the Goliaths are unable to engage in the fight. And this is what I mean by picking your battles correctly. When you know you can win, you gotta commit to them. And it looks like that's what he's doing here. The Mutalisks are certainly going to win out this fight. Assuming that they focus on the Goliath. There we go. Certainly going to win this fight. And that's what I was talking about. Jim needed to find that engagement and not kind of half commit. Because now all the Goliaths are dead, and the siege tanks, and Largo has to start back from square one in his army, where this is still a good number of Mutalisks. It's still, what, 3, 6, 13? 13 Mutalisks here, at least? Alright. Alright. So, this build, the double Spire build, the double Spire into double Evo build, because we have the buddy system for upgrades. You're not allowed to just have one upgrade going on its own. You need to have double upgrades. Oh, okay, there's +2. And he's getting Queen's Nest. Honestly, don't know what he's going to do with the Queen's Nest yet. He is getting double Evo chambers, so he is planning on going to the ground eventually. He will return to the ground, so it could be for Defilers. At the same time, could be for Guardians. Not really the best map for Guardians, and there are a lot of Goliaths, so that doesn't seem horribly likely, but it's possible. Also, alternatively, he could just really want 3-3. could just really want 3/3 Mutalisks. Don't know yet. We'll find out. Doesn't have enough money right now. Alright, the Mutalisks. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, man, this is a risky part. I said don't retreat, but man, you picked one hell of a spot to engage, Jim. Jim! Oh, no. Oh, that was not a good attack. This style is hard. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, Jim lost. Jim lost. You guys saw that, right? Goliaths don't do splash damage. That was all Jim. Alright. Alright. For the record, since it's Jim of Eastern Europe, I really want to call him Jimmy. I'm really tempted to just call him Jimmy. Alright. So, Mutalisks are attacking again, but there's just nowhere near enough of them. And there's even a siege tank in there to do a lot of damage to the Hydralisk. Ooh, mine hit killing 3. Yeah, and this is just not a good look at all for Jim now that he lost that one engagement. You can't afford to lose even one engagement going with this kind of weird mass muta style. You just have to win. You have to win. You have to overwhelm your opponent. You can't afford to trade. So, Largo's coming down. This base is going to be taken out, and he obviously knows about this base. So this base will probably also... trying to save this base, morphing a lot of Hydralisks in here and trying to get the Mutalisks involved, but it's just too many Goliaths. If the Goliaths aren't careful though, this could actually do a lot of damage to them. Sunken Colonies kill Goliaths ridiculously quickly. See, like, that's one shot. That's 2 shots, it's already almost dead. Alright. So this base is going to go down. He might not even have to deal with the Sunkens. He could just choose not to. Oh. I wonder how many Goliaths he's going to lose to Sunken Colonies. Like, he's already lost way more than he should have. That's 5. I think that's 5 Goliaths. Alright. So, Mutalisks get to try once again. I wouldn't even bother to engage here. Like, wait until Largo is attacking you at a better spot. Not in, like, the best possible arc the Goliaths could be in. They might be able to win this engagement, but I just don't know if it's worth it. Oh, they'll certainly win with those reinforcements coming in, but... oh, alright, I guess if you have that many Mutalisks. Alright, he saved his Sunken Colonies. And the Extractor. Alright. So, trying once again to take out the Goliaths. Wow. Jim is fearless. He is absolutely fearless. I said he can't retreat from the Goliaths, but he has really taken that to heart. I think there was one time he pulled back. Okay, there we go. Now he's pulling back from Goliaths and they have more reinforcement coming in. But man, when he goes in with Mutalisks, he just goes in. Now has 2/2 upgrades. The Hive is done. What are we using our Hive on? What are we using our Hive on? Nothing. We are just making more Mutalisks. Alright. Seriously? He's not even making Zerglings. He's not really getting upgrades. I mean, he has 1 armor. Don't know what that Hive was for. That's fine. So, that base is cancelled. Nice. Save a little bit of money there. I'm actually doing a little bit high on the money to begin with, but saving a little where you can. Oh, that was close. That was close to taking a big mine hit. Now the Mutalisks are going in again. This is a very small pack of Goliath, so the Mutalisks should be able to easily overwhelm it, especially with the Hydralisk support. Doesn't really have to worry about taking too much damage here. Has to worry about getting flanked from the side, and now he's going in. Jim, ridiculous aggression here. He has no fears. But will this time be the time that it comes back to haunt him? These Goliaths have 3 attack upgrades. That's a lot. The Hydralisks do not have any upgrades. Just that 1 armor. And it's not going to be enough. Jim. Jim. Alright. Seriously, what are we using this hive for? Like, seriously. Like, you guys, you got the hive, and it's just like, I needed to get the queen's nest so that I could get the hive, so that my lair could have more health, so that it would be less likely to die when he does the dreaded Goliath drop. To be fair, his economy kind of is in shambles, so it's kind of hard to spend money on defilers at this point when you need to keep making Mutalisks. But now he's switching into Hydralisks and Lings and getting the Ling upgrade. Okay, hey, that's Hive. That's something Hive can do. So, armory, not getting upgrades. He still has a couple of armor upgrades he could be getting, and wow. Finally deciding maybe I should get a science vessel. You know, maybe a science vessel would be kind of helpful against mass 2/2 Mutalisks. But to be fair, his Goliaths aren't doing that bad against him. He's doing a pretty good job without it. And Jim is transitioning into Hydralisks. Ooh, this could be really good for Jim. He has a lot of Hydralisks, and there are only 2 tanks. The tanks, I don't think the tanks can do enough damage. That first one's going to fall very quick. Oh, no, it's not going to fall very quickly. It's going to live actually a long time. Oh, can the Hydralisks overcome? No, not quite. Oh, not quite. The Goliaths, their upgrades. It's just the upgrades. The Hydralisks should be doing so much better, but they have to go against 3/2 Goliaths. That's 15 attack, 3 armor, with just 10 attack and 2 armor of their own. Oh, man. That's a lot of turrets. Does he have any more mass turrets, or is it just the one concentration? No, that's just the one concentration of mass turrets. I mean, he has some turrets scattered about. I mean, there's a good number in the main. But, like, no, here, man. No Mutalisks allowed. Alright, looks like the drone trammers are going to get caught, and this base will be taken out once again, but not before this base is taken out. So Jim will once again lose multiple expansions here. He's doing his best, and he's like, oh man, he's almost playing refugee style of just, I'm going to lose bases, so let's take even more bases than Largo can get around to killing. Goliaths are kind of slow. Wow. And it looks like Largo discovered the Overlord treasure trove. Don't know how many he's going to be able to pick off. Oh, man. There we go. GG from Jim. Yeah, that just didn't quite work out for him. Largo takes game 1. Alright. So game number 2 of Largo versus Jim. Russia, he was looking bad for a second there, but things are starting to look up for Russia. Largo's looking good to close this out, and they'll be up 3-2. They only need to win 1 more. Alright. So, in the top left is Jim. Alright. Apparently didn't know what map it was on. That's fine. In the top left is Jim from Eastern Europe. In the bottom right is Largo from Russia. V, Control X, Control V. Set that to a 10. And boom. Oh man, I love Largo. I love Largo. Just like, oh man, there's a lot of people in here. Kill them. Just like, very bluntly, kill them. Do it. Just murder them all. But you have to imagine he does it completely seriously, because Russians are incapable of having any kind of lighthearted inflection in their tone. It's just all serious. Oh man, it's like somebody on Team Liquid has in their signature a quote from Largo, where Largo was asked who was going to win Gambit Cup 2 finals. And his quote was something like, obviously SAS will win unless they all get cancer and die. How could anything else happen? And it's like, Largo, you're so silly, being so dark about people dying. The map's Sniper's Ridge. See? A shape that bears some kind of resemblance to a certain thing that came up like 70 years ago that may or may not be a reference to it. Fix the overlay? Oh, oops, my bad. There we go. See, everything gets better when you like check one little box. Boom, everything's set. I didn't say it got invented 70 years ago. I just said it was relevant 70 years ago. Yeah, swastika, it's from India. It means good luck and peace or whatever. I know my useless facts. Alright. So, what do we got from Largo? Largo's going 1 rack CC. Fair enough. What do we got from Jim? We got a rather quick third hatchery. Interesting. He's actually going to go 3 hatch before building any of his links. Okay. So, both players being a little bit on the greedy side here. Obviously, you typically get some lings out for just a little bit of extra protection before the third hatchery goes down. Also get out a few more drones, but Jim wants to get that extra larva very early. At Largo, it can be a little bit dangerous to go 1 rack Cephii, but not going to be an issue this game, especially with what Jim's doing. But even if Jim was doing something more aggressive, it's still cross positions. Not terrible. Alright. How the map pool works, everyone. The map pool is... There's one starting map. So Destination was the set map. They had to play on Destination. And then after Destination, it's Loser's Pick. There are 9 maps in the map pool. The 9 maps are Fighting Spirit, Destination, Match Point, and the 6 most recent Kespa maps. So your Chain Reactions, your Electric Circuits, Ground Zero, Sniper Ridge, Jade, and one other one. Outlier. I think that's all 6 of them. So yeah, that's the map pool. It's Fighting Spirit, Match Point, Destination, and then the 6 new maps. Oh, and Icarus. Damn, I keep forgetting about Icarus. Thank you. And Icarus. So 10 maps. Because of Icarus. That one's actually really weird. Like, I can understand the other 3. Like, Fighting Spirit, it's Fighting Spirit. Why? No big mystery why that's in the map pool. Match Point, it's a freaking awesome map, and it should be in every map pool. It's just a good map. That's not a surprise. Destination, it opens up for some kind of cheesy stuff. And when everything's a best of 3, you kind of want to allow players to have a little bit of a shot at doing that. Huh. We'll talk about this later. But yeah, and then Icarus. Icarus is just like, it seems out of place. It's not a beloved map, really. It's not a particularly good map. I mean, I kind of like it. It's better than average, in my opinion, but it has its problems. Anyway, Jim! Jim is reviving the Eastern European, specifically Bulgarian, double Evo chamber, but now double Evo Hydralisks TVZ. What is this? Can it possibly work? I do like the radical switch though. This is okay, so I went Mutalisks. I invested everything into mass Mutalisks. It did not work. Screw it, not making a single another Mutalisk in my life. It's over. I have established that game proved it. Mutalisks cannot be viable against Largo. It just simply cannot be done. We need to go the complete opposite direction. And last game, my upgrades for my Hydralisks were terrible. This game, they will be amazing. I will have the greatest upgraded Hydralisks I have ever seen. They will be blinged out. They will have, like, big gold necklaces that say spit on them. And they'll be funky fresh. That's pretty much Jim's mentality right here. It's like, he's getting three upgrades for his Hydralisk simultaneously. Attack, armor, and range. All at the same time. Alright, so... Interesting from... Also really interesting strategy from Largo. It's kind of like he started to go mech, and then he saw the Hydralisk, and he's like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna go bio. Biomech it is! And Biomech is pretty much... The ratio that he's gonna have of this Biomech is pretty much the best thing he could hope. The best thing against mass Hydralisks. It'll have enough siege tanks to do massive damage to the Hydralisks, and then everything, all of his other resources invested into M&M, which tank Hydralisk shots like nothing else in the game. Should be interesting. Should be interesting. This layer, this layer is actually really nicely timed. Not perfectly timed, but it's gonna be nicely timed, so that he can start +2/+2, which I assume is what's coming up next, when he wants to. As the Hydralisks move out. Ooh, there goes a Hydralisk. Ooh, that one got close. That one got very close. And somebody else in orange is also clicking on all these mines. Alright, and here comes the Hydralisk bust before the M&M can really happen, but... Oh, 3 siege tanks on the high ground, that's fine. That's fine. Siege tanks are really good versus Hydralisks. Oh! That is 6 Hydralisks dead. Oh man, that's painful. Ouch. All right. So, going for a lurker upgrade, definitely what Jim needs here. He's going to need something to deal with the M&M stuff, and lurker's his best option at this point, especially since he's going to have some really nice upgrades for his lurkers, I assume. Or we could just stick on 1/1 and have okay upgrades, I guess. Alright. So, gonna be a pretty fun build from Largo here. It's gonna be an M&M army, but it's going to have early tanks and it's going to have a lot of tanks. Versus Jim's army, which is mostly Hydralisks, and he'll start to incorporate in lurkers soon. Wow. He can make a lot of lurkers once he gets the minerals for them, but he is banking a significant amount of gas. Anyway, Jim's taking expansion. Huh. He's taking the close expansion? I think he kind of has to. On one hand, you want to kind of keep this close because a lot of your army right now is Hydralisks, and you'd like your Hydralisk to be able to defend both your bases at the same time. On the other hand, you're letting the Terran just push in one direction, and he doesn't have to decide to push down bottom left and send his army to a remote corner of the map, and then you can get flanks off with Hydralisks coming from the other side. So, yeah, I can see it going either way, but it looks like Jim's going to take the safer decision here. So, 8 Lurkers. 8 Lurkers to start out with. That's going to be a really nice start, but man, that is so many siege tanks. How many scans do we have? 0. We have 0 scans. So, yeah. How well can you place your Lurkers against a absolutely perfectly placed siege tank army? Like, you could not make this any more impenetrable from Largo's perspective. It's just too much. You have to lose the base. And this is why you would decide to go and expand elsewhere. Because now the Terran was going to take it out anyway, but at least they're over here and kind of far away is the idea. And who knows if it would have worked. At least he didn't lose a whole lot trying to attack it in a futile attempt. But man, Largo is really burning through scan. I heard another one go off. He's once again with no scan. It's rather dangerous versus this many Lurkers. Alright. So, do we have more upgrades? We still have no upgrades. So, double Evo Chamber just for the 1-1 and then stopping. A little bit odd. I guess he really just wanted that initial Hydra Bust attempt to work, but unfortunately Largo was going mech in the beginning, so he already had a good number of siege tanks. Who is orange, by the way? It's Deafy. Alright, I thought it was Deafy. So, Hydra's going to try to attack again, managing to pick off a tank early, and now the tanks are sieging up, and Jim is not going to back out. He has proven he is the fearless Zerg player. He's just going to let them all die. Or not? Oh, this is actually closer than I thought it would be. That actually went a lot better than I thought it would for Jim, in that he didn't lose everything. This is infinitely better than I thought it would go for him. And he killed off like most of Largo's tanks. It's going to take Largo a while to remake that many. He's not going to have the same kind of army composition as he had before. Oh, but he is lifting all the factories. So he's going for a mech transition, and now he's throwing down the factories. But still, taking out that part right at this crucial time, right where Largo needs units the most because he's vulnerable, because he can't make anymore, that's a huge, huge engagement for Jim. And now, because of the fact that Largo's choosing now to transition to mech, Jim can actually have an upper hand in terms of aggression. On the other hand, he is only on 2 bases, so his economy is terrible. And only has 55 supply. So that's going to be hard. And siege tanks with bunkers are really good at defending stuff, so maybe not. Wow. That's, it's pretty orderly here. Except for this one. I don't know why, I just like scanning back and forth. Like, watching them go by. I don't know why that's pleasing to the eye, but it is. So, yeah. The very small window that Jim could have had to attack, pretty much gone. Because the factories are built and he's now making stuff. And it still would have been a very difficult attack to try to get off. Just because of the tanks. I don't know. I don't think he could have. Alright. So, I'll see what Jim's able to do. He needs to stop making lurkers at this point, as Largo does not have that many he has a good number of Marines and medics, but he doesn't need any more lurkers to combat that. And there are going to be no more infantry coming out, as all the barracks have lifted. So hopefully not wasting his gas. Oh. Wow. Really? Like, the Hydralisk did the absolute perfect job of getting as close to mine as possible, not activating it, then barely activating it, then shooting it once, and then running away. Alright. Okay, so here comes Jim's attack. You're even assigned special to help with the detection. Scan's not going to be an issue. There's not a whole lot of units, though. There's not a whole lot of units. Largo has like 3 times the supply. It really doesn't look like it. I guess he doesn't have any of his M&M, which is a lot of supplies tied up into that. And there we go. GG from Jim. Alright. I don't know who Jim is, apparently B- from Bulgaria, but tall order going up against Largo. And he put up some fun games. Alright. So we are going to go into